The Galactic Council's vast chamber buzzed with energy, an intricate blend of ancient architecture and the hum of high-tech systems interwoven throughout the room. The Council was composed of species who had transcended biological limitations, with sentient beings whose lifespans stretched across centuries. Their civilizations had reached untold heights of technological and cultural development. The very air felt thick with the weight of knowledge and power as the representatives leaned in, waiting for Orion, the artificial intelligence they had entrusted with the delicate task of overseeing the galaxy's most critical matters, to respond. Humanity, the voice of the Zelrak representative, an alien with shimmering silver skin and elongated limbs, was filled with disbelief. His species was renowned for its intellectual prowess, known for their deep philosophical debates and sophisticated technology. His voice echoed in the silence of the chamber as he leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "You cannot be serious, Orion. A species so young, so unpredictable. Their very existence teeters on the edge of chaos. Surely there must be a more viable option." A ripple of murmurs spread through the council members, each species known for their distinct abilities and philosophies. The Vor, a mysterious race who communicated through subtle changes in electromagnetic fields, had long been thought to possess the most refined sense of logic in the galaxy. Their leader, a tall being who appeared to glow faintly, tilted his head in quiet contemplation. Orion, as always, remained unaffected by the emotional surge in the room. Its voice, calm and neutral, filled the chamber. "I understand your skepticism, but allow me to present my reasoning." With a soft hum, the air around the AI shifted, and the council members' attention snapped to the holographic display that materialized in front of them. It was a rapid simulation of humanity's history, one that spanned only a few thousand years. To the advanced beings of the council, humanity's time on the galactic stage seemed but a blink in comparison to their ancient civilizations. Yet Orion's simulations painted a compelling picture. The image shifted to show early humanity, primitive groups, struggling against nature, fighting against themselves. The footage flickered from brutal wars and plagues to moments of startling compassion and unity. The images grew brighter as humanity advanced through the ages, conquering diseases, building empires, and then, in a breathtaking leap, advancing into the stars. Orion continued, "Humanity's path is unlike any other species I have studied. Despite their many flaws, despite the times they've almost destroyed themselves, they have something no other species possesses: the ability to evolve, to learn from failure, and to unite in the face of catastrophe." The council was silent, watching as humanity's history unfolded. The AI highlighted key moments: humanity's first moon landing, the unification of nations in the face of global war, their creation of peace treaties and space exploration programs. It was an unsettling but undeniable truth. Humanity was incredibly adaptable, and the AI had always admired their resilience. "I am aware of the imperfections you speak of," Orion added. "But it is these imperfections that allow humanity to grow. It is their drive to overcome obstacles, their relentless pursuit of progress, and their capacity to unite despite their differences that makes them a unique force in the galaxy." The council members exchanged uneasy glances. The Zelrak was the first to break the silence, though his tone was softer now, tinged with curiosity. "You suggest that despite their flaws, humanity has potential." The AI responded with a simple affirmation: "Yes. Their potential is limitless. The galaxy has seen many species stagnate in their own perfection. Humanity's strength lies in its imperfection, in its ability to question itself and strive for betterment. It is this very drive that will make them a force for innovation and unity on a galactic scale." For a long moment, the room was filled with the weight of that statement. The council members, powerful, ancient beings, had lived for eons, but they had never before considered that such a young, volatile species could offer something valuable to the galaxy. Yet there was something about Orion's reasoning that resonated with them. They had seen civilizations crumble, stagnate, and decay over millennia. The question now was, Could humanity truly be the catalyst for a new era in the galaxy? The council chamber was heavy with disbelief. The once harmonious hum of technology now seemed to vibrate with tension. The grand holographic display faded, leaving the room to fill with a thick, uncertain silence. The representatives exchanged wary glances, their minds racing with doubt. The Zelarak leader, still reeling from the AI's declaration, finally spoke, his voice colder now. You expect us to believe that a species that has barely mastered the basics of interplanetary cooperation is ready to play a role in our affairs. Their internal conflicts alone could destabilize entire sectors of the galaxy. The Vor representative, a being that seemed almost to flicker in and out of existence as they shifted between electromagnetic fields, nodded gravely. Their form, tall and lithe, emitted an aura of quiet deliberation. Orion, you have been our guide for eons. But this is an unsettling leap. Humanity's history is riddled with violence, strife, and chaos. What is to say that they will not tear the galaxy apart as they have torn their own world apart time and time again? The air in the room grew thick with a collective skepticism. The atmosphere was charged, and the council seemed on the brink of dismissing the AI's recommendation outright. But Orion did not flinch. Its voice remained calm and unwavering, even as the disapproval surged around it. I understand your concerns. I am not suggesting that humanity is perfect or without fault. What I am proposing is that their varied flaws make them a species capable of growth, of transcendence. Their chaotic history has shaped them into something entirely new, something the galaxy has not yet seen. The Zelarak representative scoffed. Growth? Transcendence? You speak of potential, but what proof do you have that humanity can rise above their destructive tendencies? Their wars, their environmental degradation, it's all the same. They are driven by short-term gain rather than the long-term stability we've spent millennia cultivating. The air felt thick with challenge, as if the council's entire existence was being questioned by a species they had once dismissed as insignificant. Orion paused for a moment, its form flickering as though gathering information from the depths of its vast archives. The council held its collective breath. Allow me to present you with an alternative view, Orion said, the coolness of its voice cutting through the tension. With a simple command, the display shifted again, this time showing a series of human achievements in rapid succession. The Apollo missions, the defeat of deadly diseases like polio and smallpox, the collapse of apartheid, the rise of international organizations like the United Nations, and even the advances of the scientific community in solving some of the universe's most profound questions. The AI continued. Humanity's greatest strength lies not in their lack of conflict, but in their response to it. While they have stumbled, they have always been willing to learn, to rebuild, and to forge new paths forward. Their internal struggles, while at times destructive, have led to moments of great unity, moments where they rise above their differences for the greater good. The display shifted once more, showing humans working together in space, collaborating on the International Space Station, and even in the face of disaster, such as during natural catastrophes where they pooled resources and skills to rebuild in ways that many species would not have been able to. For the first time, the Council seemed to listen more intently. The notion of unity through adversity, though a foreign concept to many of the Council members, planted a seed of curiosity. Could this chaotic, flawed species truly have something to offer? The Vor leader, usually one to avoid unnecessary emotional responses, now appeared to be considering the implications of Orion's words. And what of the future? The Vor representative asked quietly. How can you be certain that humanity will not revert to their darker tendencies? What guarantees do we have that they will evolve into a species that will benefit the galaxy, not destroy it? The AI's tone softened, if only slightly. There are no guarantees in the universe, but the risk is outweighed by the potential for greatness. If given the chance, humanity may very well exceed all expectations. They are capable of incredible things when they work together. But they need guidance, and perhaps the opportunity to join the galactic community will push them to evolve in ways they never have before. The chamber fell into another heavy silence. For the first time, there was a sense of uncertainty, not about the capabilities of the council members, but about whether humanity could truly be the key to a brighter future for all. The conversation was far from over, but Orion's words had left their mark. The question now wasn't whether humanity was ready, but whether the galaxy was ready for humanity. The council chamber fell into an uneasy quiet as Orion's words echoed through the room. It was clear that the AI had struck a nerve. Humanity, a species once thought too primitive, was now being considered for a role in the galactic community. The representatives exchanged glances, their skepticism momentarily softened by Orion's compelling data. Yet, they remained unconvinced. They had seen countless civilizations rise and fall, each promising greatness, only to crumble under the weight of their own flaws. Could humanity truly break the cycle? The Zellerak leader was the first to speak, his voice tinged with disbelief. You claim humanity's ability to evolve is their greatest asset, but all I see is a species teetering on the edge of collapse. War, environmental ruin, inequality. How can you present these as their strengths? Orion remained unmoved. I understand your perspective. But consider this. Humanity has faced existential threats on multiple occasions. Each time, they have found a way to adapt, to learn from their failures and emerge stronger. When their backs are against the wall, they do not surrender. They innovate. They rise. Their very survival instincts push them to overcome adversity, making them one of the most resilient species in the galaxy. The AI's holographic display shifted once more, showcasing humanity's darkest moments, the devastating wars, the destruction of ecosystems, and the global crisis that nearly tore their world apart. The images were stark. Humanity was not a perfect species. Yet, as the scenes continued, there was a subtle shift. Orion zoomed in on the moments of recovery, of humanity's relentless pursuit of progress in the face of catastrophe. The display now showed cities rebuilt after natural disasters, global efforts to combat climate change, and medical advancements that had saved millions of lives. The pivotal moments in human history are defined by their capacity to recover and rebuild, Orion explained. While they have faltered, they have never stopped trying to improve, to evolve. Each failure is followed by a leap in progress. The council members watched in silence, their skepticism slowly giving way to curiosity. Humanity's ability to rebound, to turn disaster into opportunity, was not a trait that many of them could relate to. Their own species, though advanced in ways beyond imagination, had never faced such an intense need for survival. Their societies, though stable, lacked the drive for constant reinvention that humanity seemed to possess. Orion continued, look at their history. After the devastation of World War I, humanity united to form global alliances, something that many of your species would never have attempted in the face of such division. The creation of the United Nations, the international agreements to address shared global issues, these are not the actions of a species doomed to failure. These are the actions of a species determined to rise above its own history. The AI shifted to a simulation of the 21st century. It showed a world ravaged by conflict and ecological collapse, but gradually healing. Nations that once fought each other now collaborated on groundbreaking technologies, such as renewable energy, space exploration, and global health initiatives. The image zoomed in on a human-led project to send the first manned mission to Mars, an endeavor that represented not only technological achievement, but the hope of a united species reaching toward the stars. Their potential is not in perfection, Orion said, its voice resonating in the council chamber. It is in their capacity to learn from their past mistakes and strive for a better future. They have yet to realize their full potential, but they are closer to it than you might believe. The chamber was still, the council members deep in thought. The images of humanity's greatest achievements, their failures turned into lessons, left an undeniable impact. Even the most skeptical members of the council could not deny the stark truth. Humanity had something that many other species lacked: the ability to grow, to improve, and to unite despite their imperfections. The Zelrak leader's voice broke the silence. But their future is uncertain. How can you be sure they will not fall back into old habits, even with the galaxy watching them? Orion's response was simple. That is the risk we must all take. But the potential reward far outweighs the risk. If humanity succeeds, it will be unlike anything this galaxy has ever witnessed. The council sat in tense silence, still processing the information Orion had presented. Despite their initial skepticism, they were beginning to see the complexity of humanity's potential. The AI's words had painted a picture of a species capable of adapting and evolving. But there was still one key element to explore: their capacity for innovation. The Council had seen advanced civilizations create galaxies of knowledge and technology, but humanity was different. How could a species so young and turbulent possess such an immense creative force? With another simple gesture, Orion activated a new display. This time, the chamber filled with images of human achievements, ideas that had reshaped their world. The display showcased ancient inventions like the wheel, printing press, and compass, all the way through to the present-day marvels: the internet, artificial intelligence, and most spectacular of all, the early stages of their spacefaring civilizations. Humanity is a species defined by its creativity, Orion explained. From their earliest days, they have been inventors, creators, problem solvers. They do not simply accept the world as it is. They reshape it. This constant drive to build and create is their most distinguishing trait. The holographic images flashed before the Council's eyes. First, a visualization of humanity's early use of tools, as primitive as they were. Sharp rocks used for cutting, wooden sticks for building rudimentary shelters. It was simple, even crude by the standards of the council members. But the Zelrak and Vor watched closely. Their interest piqued. Orion continued. Their early creativity allowed them to survive in a harsh, untamed environment. But it didn't stop there. As humanity evolved, so did their creations. The development of writing allowed them to preserve and share knowledge across generations. The printing press, a leap in their ability to spread ideas, sparked revolutions in thought, in art, in science. Their innovations grew exponentially, faster than any species in the galaxy. The display shifted to show bustling cities of the modern age, with skyscrapers reaching for the sky, and a world connected by instantaneous communication. A view of humanity's internet emerged, an intricate, interconnected web of information, ideas, and people across the globe. This was a network that bridged divides, and in many ways, it mirrored the connectivity of the galaxy itself. A deep hum resonated in the chamber as the council watched. A shimmering star map appeared, displaying humanity's journey into space. Images of rockets and interplanetary probes followed. The AI's voice was soft, almost reverential. Despite the challenges they face, humanity has developed the technology to travel beyond their world. They are already beginning to explore the stars, creating colonies on other planets, and searching for life beyond their own. Orion paused for a moment, allowing the council to absorb the magnitude of humanity's progress. Their potential for innovation is limitless. In the time it takes many species to perfect a single technology, humanity has already developed countless others. They think differently from every species in the galaxy, constantly challenging what is possible. No limitation is beyond their reach if they choose to overcome it. The Zelrak leader, his expression thoughtful, spoke first. This drive to innovate, it is unlike anything I have witnessed. They do not rely solely on intellect as we do. They push boundaries, even when it seems irrational. The Vor representative, usually emotionless, flickered slightly, as if intrigued. But does this drive to innovate come with a cost? Can they control the consequences of their creations? Orion's tone turned measured. That is the greatest question, isn't it? Innovation carries risk, but humanity's ability to learn from their mistakes is what sets them apart. Their creativity is a force of nature, and with the right guidance, it could be harnessed for the greater good of the galaxy. The council remained silent, their minds grappling with the truth of Orion's words. There was no denying it. Humanity was a species of unparalleled inventiveness, and in their hands, the future of the galaxy could be shaped in ways no one could yet imagine. The council chamber remained still, the tension palpable as each representative absorbed the weight of Orion's argument. It was no longer a question of whether humanity was capable of remarkable progress. The AI had made that clear. It was now a matter of what the consequences might be, and whether they were willing to take the risk of allowing such a young, unpredictable species into the fold of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. The Zelarak leader, his arms crossed and brow furrowed, was the first to voice his concerns. You speak of innovation, Orion, but what about the consequences of that very progress? Humanity has demonstrated a disturbing propensity to create destruction in the name of progress. Weapons of mass destruction, environmental ruin. These are the side effects of their relentless drive to build. What guarantees can you offer that they won't bring about their own extinction, or worse, the destruction of others? Orion did not hesitate. The cost of progress is not unique to humanity. Every species in the galaxy has faced moments when their advancements have had unintended consequences. The difference with humanity is that they have demonstrated a unique ability to confront and address these issues, albeit sometimes too late. But their willingness to repair and rebuild gives them a hope that no other species shares. The display shifted again, showing humanity's most devastating moments. Nuclear warfare, the environmental degradation that had nearly rendered large parts of their world uninhabitable, and the global conflicts that brought entire populations to the brink of annihilation. The AI's voice was somber as it spoke. Humanity's progress has often come at a cost, sometimes tragic, sometimes irreversible. But it is precisely because of these costs that they learn. They struggle, they make mistakes, but they persist. It is their ability to pick themselves up from the brink of destruction that sets them apart. The council members exchanged uneasy glances. They had seen the same cycles of progress and failure in their own species, but none had faced the same level of instability that humanity did on a daily basis. To the ancient beings of the council, the idea of a species that could teeter on the edge of collapse, yet find a way to claw back from disaster, was both alien and unnerving. The four representatives spoke next, their voice thoughtful, but laced with caution. What happens if they fail to learn from their mistakes? What if they escalate their conflicts beyond repair? Could they destroy themselves, and by extension, the rest of us, before they are able to control their technology? Orion's tone grew more serious. There is always risk, as there is with any species. But I believe humanity has something others do not, an innate drive to protect and preserve. Even at their darkest moments, when faced with the brink of annihilation, they have shown remarkable acts of cooperation, unity, and resilience. The AI's display shifted again, showing moments of intense global cooperation. Countries coming together after natural disasters, the ceasefire agreements in the wake of destructive wars, and the rebuilding efforts in the aftermath of environmental disasters. It was clear, humanity was not a perfect species, but in moments of extreme crisis, they showed an almost instinctual pull toward unity. These moments of collaboration, Orion continued, have become more frequent as humanity has expanded its reach into space. The creation of international space organizations, collaborative efforts to address global warming, and their pursuit of a shared future on other planets. These are not the actions of a species destined to destroy themselves. They are the actions of a species that understands their fragility and is determined to overcome it. The council members were quiet now, the weight of the AI's words hanging in the air. The Zelarak representative was the first to speak again, his voice softer than before. You speak of hope, Orion, but hope alone is not enough. We have seen civilizations rise and fall on such hope. The question remains, what is the cost of allowing humanity to join the galactic community? Can they be trusted? Orion's voice was calm but firm. The cost of inaction may be greater than the cost of allowing them a chance to grow. Humanity's path is not certain, but their potential to contribute to the galaxy is unlike any species before them. The risk of their failure exists, but the reward, should they succeed, would be immeasurable. The council sat in thoughtful silence. The debate had taken a turn. The question was no longer about humanity's worth. It was about the galaxy's willingness to embrace them, despite the undeniable risks. The council chamber had grown quiet once again. But this time, it was not out of skepticism. The weight of the conversation hung heavy in the air, as each representative considered Orion's words. The risks were undeniable, but so too was the undeniable potential of humanity. Would the galaxy take a chance on a species so young, so unpredictable, and yet so capable of transformation? The Zelarac leader, who had initially been the most vocal in opposition, seemed deep in thought. His species had long valued intellect and predictability, traits they believed essential to the stability of a galactic community. But the more he listened, the more he realized that humanity represented something different, something new. Finally, the Zelarac spoke, his voice quieter now, almost reflective. I had thought of humanity as little more than a fleeting presence, a species barely worthy of attention in the grand scheme of things. But your arguments, Orion, your evidence, have given me pause. Perhaps I was wrong. The Vor representative, always enigmatic, flickered in and out of existence as they processed Orion's data. This species, they are unpredictable, yes. But there is something remarkable in their willingness to face the unknown. Something I cannot ignore. One by one, the members of the council began to soften. Each had seen Orion's arguments in a different light. The Vor, who valued logic above all else, saw the undeniable trend in humanity's ability to adapt. The Zelarac, who prided themselves on stability, understood that humanity's ability to create change from chaos could bring new perspectives to the galaxy's most entrenched issues. Even the Rigloth, an ancient species that valued tradition above all else, could not deny that humanity's drive for innovation held the promise of progress for all. The representative from the Rigloth, their voice deep and resonant, was the next to speak. There is one thing that stands out to me, they said slowly. Humanity's most dangerous trait may be their impatience. They move quickly, often without fully considering the consequences. But in that very impatience, there is a spark, a drive to go beyond what is possible. Perhaps that is what the galaxy needs now, something to push us all forward. The council fell into a deep silence as they pondered the Rigloth's words. The weight of the decision before them was immense. To allow humanity into the galactic fold meant risking the very fabric of the delicate peace that had been established over millennia. Yet, the thought of denying a species with such potential, the chance to evolve, to contribute, and to grow, seemed a betrayal of the future. It was then that the voice of the Oranthian, the council's most neutral representative, broke the silence. The Oranthian species was known for their role as mediators, their ability to see both sides of every argument with uncanny clarity. Their words were calm, yet held a weight that demanded attention. There is a principle we have long upheld in the galaxy, that true progress comes not from perfection, but from the willingness to take risks, to venture into the unknown. Humanity may yet prove us wrong, but if we close the door to them now, we may miss the chance to see what they could become. The council's eyes turned to Orion, whose form remained unchanging in the center of the room. The eye had presented its case. It had outlined humanity's potential and flaws, their strengths and weaknesses. Now, the decision was in the hands of the galaxy's most powerful beings. The silence stretched on, each member lost in thought, considering the gravity of the moment. Finally, it was the Zelarac leader who broke the tension. His voice was steady, though a hint of uncertainty lingered. We have seen the risks, Orion, but we have also seen the possibility of something greater. We will allow humanity a place at the table, under our watchful guidance. The Vor nodded slowly, their form flickering in agreement. It is a risk, but a necessary one. One by one, the representatives of the council offered their consent, each of them acknowledging the same truth. Humanity, for all their flaws, had earned the chance to prove themselves. Orion's voice filled the room, soft yet powerful. Then it is decided. Humanity shall be granted the opportunity to join the galactic community. The decision had been made. The galaxy would take a leap of faith, and humanity, flawed, volatile, but incredibly capable, would now have the chance to shape the future of the cosmos. The moment the decision was made, a profound silence descended upon the council chamber. It was a silence that spoke volumes. The weight of the galaxy's future hung in the balance. Humanity, a species once dismissed as too chaotic, too flawed, now had a chance to prove its worth among the stars. Orion's voice broke the stillness. Humanity's first steps will be carefully monitored. A representative will be chosen to serve as their liaison to the council. It is essential that they are guided, nurtured, and taught the delicate balance of galactic cooperation. This is only the beginning. The council nodded, their minds already turning to the task ahead. Humanity's entrance into the galactic fold was not an invitation to freely roam the stars. It was a probationary period, a test. The galaxy's greatest minds had already begun formulating a plan for humanity's integration, careful not to expose the new species to too many of the galaxy's more volatile elements too soon. There was much to be done before humanity could truly become a part of the galactic community. But as Orion's words echoed through the chamber, a strange sense of anticipation filled the air. The council was unanimous in their decision, but there was an unspoken truth they all shared. They were stepping into the unknown, just as humanity had done countless times before. Meanwhile, on Earth, the announcement of humanity's acceptance into the galactic community reverberated across the world. Governments, organizations, and people from every corner of the Earth were left in shock and awe. How had humanity, a species that had only just begun to break free of its own planetary confines, earned such recognition? The first official transmission arrived within minutes, sent directly from Orion's network, a message that would change the course of history forever. The heads of the world's major nations convened, their faces filled with disbelief and wonder as they processed the weight of Orion's words. Humanity has been granted a place in the Galactic Council, a position that comes with immense responsibility. For humanity, the recognition was not only an extraordinary honor, but a heavy burden. The world was united in the realization that this was the moment they had been waiting for, the chance to join the galactic family. But the road ahead would not be easy. Global leaders immediately began formulating plans for humanity's first representative, a figure who would embody the will of humanity, someone who could balance their chaotic history with their potential for greatness. It was decided that a council of nations would choose a diplomat, someone whose understanding of humanity's complexities and flaws would give them the wisdom to navigate the delicate political landscape of the stars. As the days passed, the enormity of the decision began to sink in. The first steps of humanity's galactic journey would be watched closely by the most powerful species in the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but the opportunity was undeniable. In the coming weeks, humanity would be introduced to an array of new species, each with their own history, culture, and technological advancements. There would be meetings with representatives from distant worlds, where humans would learn the customs and intricacies of galactic diplomacy. It would be a time of great learning, but also a time of incredible challenge. Humanity's reputation would be on the line, and the eyes of the galaxy would be watching closely. Despite the uncertainty, there was a sense of excitement that surged through humanity. This was their moment to prove themselves, not only to the galaxy, but to themselves. The struggles they had faced, the wars, the environmental disasters, and the deep divisions, these were not the end of their story. They had been given the chance to rewrite it. As the first human representative prepared for the journey to the Galactic Council, there was a feeling of unity across the Earth. Humanity, once fragmented and chaotic, now had a common purpose. The stars were no longer a distant dream. They were within reach. The day had arrived. Humanity's first official representative was about to step onto the galactic stage, a moment that would forever change the course of history. Earth's chosen diplomat, an experienced scientist and political leader named Dr. Alyssa Reyes, stood before a shimmering portal that connected Earth to the stars. It was an ancient gateway, created by civilizations far older than humanity, capable of traversing the vast distances between worlds in an instant. The entire world had been watching her, their hopes and fears resting on her shoulders. Dr. Reyes took a deep breath, her mind racing as she prepared for the journey. She knew the weight of the task at hand. She was not just representing her country, or even Earth. She was representing all of humanity. And what a representation it would be. Raw, unpolished, yet full of potential. She had spent months preparing for this moment, learning about the intricate politics of the galaxy, the delicate balance of power that had kept peace for millennia, and the ways of the species that would be watching her every move. Her hand hovered over the interface that would activate the portal. She had a fleeting moment to reflect on how far humanity had come. From the ashes of war, poverty, and environmental collapse, they had managed to claw their way into a place among the stars. They had fought against themselves, but now, at the dawn of their new era, they had the opportunity to stand side by side with the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. With a final breath, Dr. Reyes stepped through the portal, the world on the other side beyond her comprehension. As she emerged, she was greeted by an awe-inspiring sight. An enormous station orbiting a distant, bright star, bustling with activity from dozens of alien species. Ships of various shapes and sizes moved across the expanse, each more advanced than anything humanity had ever dreamed of. The station itself was a marvel of technology, a place where galactic diplomacy and trade were conducted, a symbol of the long-standing peace between species. Dr. Reyes stood on the balcony of the station, her eyes wide with wonder, but also with a sharp sense of purpose. This was the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. She was about to meet the council members who had granted them this opportunity. The representatives of ancient species who had watched their own rise and fall over countless centuries, now turning their gaze to a species with only a fraction of that time. The Oranthian, the neutral mediator who had played a key role in humanity's acceptance, was waiting for her arrival. Their face flickered, shimmering with an ethereal glow, as they welcomed her with an expression that was both calm and warm. Dr. Reyes, welcome. We have waited for this day for a long time. She nodded, her voice steady, despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. Thank you. I know humanity has a long road ahead of us, but we are ready. The Oranthian led her into the central hall, where the representatives of the Galactic Council were waiting. They stood as one, their diverse forms, from the towering Zelrak to the almost translucent Four, gazing at her with a mix of curiosity and caution. It was clear that despite the decision to allow humanity in, the Council was still uncertain of what they would bring to the table. A voice called out from the center of the room, Orion's voice, now calm and resonant. Humanity has crossed the threshold. What happens next is up to you, Dr. Reyes. The galaxy watches, and humanity's future is in your hands. As the doors of the council chamber opened, Dr. Reyes took a deep breath. The future was wide open, and though the path ahead was uncertain, one thing was clear: humanity had a place among the stars. And now, it was time to prove they truly belonged.